Today we're going to talk about how macromolecules are formed and broken down. In other words, we're going to talk about dehydration synthesis and hydrolysis. Please make sure you have your notes on your table and that on your desk and that you're ready to take notes. So first we need to review what are monomers and polymers. Remember, monomers are those smaller pieces of our macromolecules. They are things like amino acids, nucleotides, and monosaccharides, whereas our polymer are all of those monomers joined together. These are things like nucleic acids, proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. So the monomers somehow have to be added together, bonded together, so that they make a polymer that can be used by our body. But how does this happen? Well, polymers are formed from monomers by this process called dehydration synthesis. In dehydration synthesis, water, which we can see here because we know water is H2O, water, which is a part of the reactants, these monomers on this side, this is a monomer or two monomers. My reactants, which are my monomers, have water chemically removed. And as that water is removed, this leftover oxygen becomes the bond that connects those monomers together to form our polymer. And the products of dehydration synthesis are the polymer and water. Why is it called dehydration synthesis? Well, remember, dehydrate means to remove water. So through this process, water is removed. It is a product that is created. Synthesis, this word, means to put together. So here I have one, and I'm putting them together to be a single piece, right? They're bonded together. Water is removed and monomers are put together, which is why we call it dehydration synthesis. But what if we have a polymer and we want this polymer to become monomers? What should we do? Well, monomers are formed by this process called hydrolysis. And in hydrolysis, water is chemically added to the reactants. Remember, on this side we have our reactants, and this is our polymer. So water is chemically added, and as water is added, it breaks apart this bond, these bonds here. And that water is then added to that polymer, and now I have two monomers. But why do we call it hydrolysis? Hydro means water, so we're adding water. And lysis means to break apart. So literally, hydrolysis means to break apart with water. Hopefully now you know how macromolecules are formed and how they're broken down. And hopefully now you also understand the difference between dehydration synthesis and hydrolysis.